Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Grandmaster Shaymin and today we are going to be continuing with Fatal 12, the visual novel, as things are about to heat up big time as I fear that Yu is probably going to try and kill the main character. Or at least do something incredibly beastly, and not in a good way. But if you missed the last episode, make sure you go and check that out because Rinka made a really bad decision not electing Yu and trying to eliminate him like he had asked her to. So before we start, make sure you click that subscribe button for future content and the like button down below because you already know I greatly appreciate your support. So without further ado, once school's over, Rinka catches up with Miharu on the way home. What's wrong? It's unusual for you to approach me like this. Miharu is already well aware of the situation after her help in fending off numeral 11. I don't want to skimp on the details, so I'm sure she gets the full story about Saturday night. It's about what happened to that card last night. Sorry, I have a shift scheduled. As much as I'd like to discuss this over tea, I'm afraid I don't have the time. I know, so I'll be brief. You know the circumstances surrounding number 4, so I just want your take on the matter. You said you had his regret card, didn't you? The same that number 12 chose last night. I assumed yours disappeared as well. I nod and then Miharu continues. We both offer our thoughts on why the card could disappear like that. Both of us had the same idea too. Miharu tries to make her way back to the station after that, but I stop her again. There's something been nagging at me and I need to talk to her about it. That's not something's been on my mind since Shingetsugu, ever since Shingetsugu, the one eliminated last night, divulged a certain story to me. What sort of story was that? One about how different people can share a connection. It got me thinking about how, despite all the people we've met in our lives, we never have the right to force them into anything. This is about Naomi, isn't it? What gave me away? This is you we're talking about. You're not sure if partially forcing Naomi to distance herself from divine selection was the right choice, are you? Let me make this clear. My opinion on the matter won't change. Allowing her to involve herself puts her into more treacherous territory. I agree, but at the same time, Rinka, you're correct. It's not my place to dictate what you two decide. Let's not forget that we're both acting of our own volition. I'm pretty content offering my life for you, much like how you get involved with participants you hardly know. Yeah, you're right. It's so obvious now that she mentions it. Everyone's acting on their own accord. Miharu chewed me out for it, but that never stopped me from getting involved with Keiko, Sonia, Shingetsugu, and you. I stuck by my choices. That being said, Naomi's got her hands full with the culture festival. If you plan to discuss things with her, I suggest doing so afterwards. I know, thanks. Looks like Miharu knew exactly why I tried to stop Naomi, just as I figured. I might be the type of person to act before I think, but this time around I knew it'd be best to do the opposite. After parting ways with Miharu, I ended up nearing Shingetsugu's house. I made sure to tell her what I'd be doing, to which she offered the warning, just be careful. Number 4's regret card is gone. That much is a fact. I wasn't sure. Shut up! God damn it, dogs. Jesus, I'm trying to do something. It's 10 o'clock at night. God damn. I wasn't sure if I had it in me to elect you, but that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant now that I don't have all of his cards. The time will come when I have to steel myself for the inevitable. Well, it's going to be a lot easier because Yu's going to give you a lot of reasons, I guarantee it. The dude's probably going to try and kill you. I won't be able to keep myself safe should you end up gathering all my information either. That's why I made my way up here, to confirm whether or not our guess was correct. It's not long before the reality of the matter will overturn that logic, however. I stand in front of Shingetsugu's house, mouth agape. Holy shit, the whole house is gone! That might not be the right way to put it. The house I've been so familiar with is no longer there. Its place, an empty lot. Not a single trace remains of the... Oh man, dude, I get so much goosebumps. of the place Shingetsugu spent his final days. A gust of wind blows through the lot, as if to accentuate the emptiness I feel. At the same time, I notice a familiar figure. Oh, yep, here's the music. I'm ready. You's gonna get some shit going. Why didn't you elect me? It's number 4, you. His appearance hasn't changed since we last spoke, but his voice sounds somewhat younger. I asked you to kill me. I begged you to, but you didn't. Why? He somehow sounds even more serious than he did Saturday night. Will you kill me during the next election? I'm not sure. That's all I can muster. He casts his gaze to the ground before replying. I knew it. You won't elect me even if I tell you my regret. His voice grows deeper than before. His eyes are empty as they were at the Court of Fate. And you still don't know what you should do. Don't worry, I'll make sure that you kill me. Your memories came back, didn't they? That's why your true regret replaced the one we knew. Just what was locked away in your memories? Hell on earth. I'm not sure what he means, but it doesn't seem to matter to him. He turns his back to me before continuing. I hope you're prepared to face what happens next. Wait, there's still more. He ignores my plea. You'll be the one too. I fail to catch his final words before he leaves, but his tone of voice has changed yet again. It felt as though each and every word he said pierced me. As he fades into the sunset on the horizon, it reminds me of someone marching into blazing hellfire. I knew it. Once home, all I can do is think of what you said, about how I don't have it in me to elect him. It's true that he asked me to do so, but I never even had the opportunity to apologize for denying him that request. Though, what's interesting is I feel like if she did elect him, then his regret card would have disappeared before Shingetsugu disappeared. You know what I'm saying? I opened up my card book once more. This is still here, at least. As I suspected, his memories have returned. His mother's cooking was a regret born of his amnesia. There's no doubt it was rooted in his psyche, but it's also inherently different from the regret he held before losing his memories. By that logic, it's odd that his name card didn't disappear along with his regret after regaining his memories, but the name card is still here. If the cards are based on personal perception, then it makes sense. 2 possibilities exist. The first is that he had no name before. The second is that he didn't consider his previous name to be his real one. I'm leaning towards that idea. For example, he wants to distance himself from his previous self due to some bad experiences. Shingetsugu conjectured that skill in combat conjured conjectured that his skill in combat came from being in an environment that demanded it. If that's the case, then he's likely been through all sorts of things that a normal person like me can't even imagine. Maybe I was too cruel. I can understand why he'd want to be eliminated to avoid remembering what he had gone through. He's likely struggling with his past right now. My own hesitation has caused him to suffer. It's something I should have realized with ease, yet I unconsciously avoided it. Eliminating another is the same as killing them. I was simply too scared to shoulder that sin. I wonder what Naomi would say if she heard all this. Well, oh shit, I'm really worried. I feel like there's going to be hostages involved. What would I have done if she were here? If she shouldered that sin with me? Things would be different than before, though. I'm not sure how she'd react to me possibly eliminating someone. There's no point in thinking about this. No one else can understand how I feel. Once again, I seal the cap on my emotions. I opt to run away, all the while overlooking the future in store for me. Dude, shit is gonna go down. I can feel it. Oh. In the end, I spent my days following that as normal. The only notable difference is everyone getting ready for the culture festival. I temporarily hold on my efforts to gather information too, mainly because I was curious about what you said. I expected to make some sort of move against me, so I was half-heartedly watching out for that. I made sure to fill Miharu in too. Somewhat ironic how I chose to not form a patch with her, and yet we're practically working together. We haven't shared the details of one another's cards, but that's about it. Miharu seems to be at something of a loss regarding how to proceed herself. As for Alan and number 11, I haven't seen either of them since the last encounter. Alan did mention that he was trying to get his hands on information pertaining to that duo, so it's possible both parties are scouting each other out now. Things can't go on like this. I decide to go for a walk through the park and take my mind off things. The cultural festival starts tomorrow and ends Sunday. I shouldn't have to worry about being elected this week, so long as I don't do the same to anyone else. I hope that things settle down a bit during the culture festival, since I've been hitting a wall so much recently. I need to figure out my frustrations today in order to accomplish that, though. Sitting down on my new favorite bench, I gaze at the buildings in the distance. A single crow flies past, which makes the clock tower that already stands out all the more captivating. I still find it hard to believe that this is the final destination Parka mentioned. To me, it's the place I associate with memories of my childhood and my talk with Naomi a while back. I have to admit, I'm surprised Miharu didn't tear me a new one on Monday. Maybe something's changed within her during divine selection. Actually, hang on. If anyone's changed, it's me. I'm able to talk about things with her now. The same might apply to her. I've noticed that we've been keeping fewer things from each other. People can't forcibly change one another, but the way we interact with others can change along with us. That said, Naomi never changed her attitude towards me despite how I treated her. She did everything she could to maintain the status quo. I understand the weight behind her offer to share responsibility with me far more than I did back then. Naomi. Oh my god, dude. That scared the shit out of me. I'm like, oh man, my phone's going off. Oh, okay. Because I always keep my phone on silent, so it vibrates like that. So that's what you hear is bzz, bzz. My phone rings as if in response to my mumbling. I open up and it's a text that's from none other than Naomi. The text reads, "What is it?" That's odd. It's like she heard what I just said, but that can't be. I didn't dial her or anything. Oh! Rinka. I hear a voice come from behind me. Part of me thinks that I'm hearing things. Naomi! Sorry, I didn't intend to surprise you like that. Don't worry about it. Shouldn't you be preparing for tomorrow? Dude, I'm getting goosebumps too. I get goosebumps a lot. I don't know. This is visual novel is just drawing a lot out of me. I really like it. We've almost finished setting up, so we've all decided to go home early today. Of course, we have to wake up extra early tomorrow to make up for it. Have you ever gone through not being able to sleep the night before a big excursion? Not really. How very like you. I was one of those kids myself. So, well, I was going through something similar today with the nerves and I figured I might calm down if I came here, and I found you. Actually, I really like this place, so I've been coming every now and again ever since you first brought me. She struggles to hide her shy expression, not to mention her flushed cheeks. I feel myself cracking a smile. You're the class leader. I guess you got stuff on your mind. Don't put me under more pressure than I already am, please. I hardly stand out, and this is the first time I've done something like this. It doesn't help that I've always been introverted. Yeah, you'll be alright. I know I shouldn't laugh, but there's something inherently adorable about her. Part of me is envious over her ability to worry so much over something like this, but that isn't the main reason I'm finding myself smiling. I don't think I could ever imagine things turning out like this when we first met. Don't bring that up. I'll die of embarrassment. It was around the beginning of April, wasn't it? Feels like so long ago now. Oh, we're having a flashback. To what, their first meeting? Damn, okay. It was the Saturday after the first and second years had their entrance and opening ceremonies respectively. Class ended in the morning for us that day, but I was told to stay behind and finish all my homework I hadn't handed in. Not that it was my fault I hadn't done it. Gran was going to the countryside at the end of March, so I spent most of my time helping her with luggage and making preparations for living on my own. Not to mention the time spent learning the ropes so Lion House could stay open. These were all personal circumstances, though. Bringing them up with my teachers felt like I was making excuses, so I refused. Thus I ended up retreating to the library to get it all done. The place was empty because the new term had just began, with the exception of one person. There we go. That person was Hitsuji Naomi,
who had just started her life at a Mecca. She must be a real bookworm to visit the library already. That was my first impression of her. I made my way over to an empty seat, piling up all the homework, waiting for it to be done. Naomi was sat not too far away from me, reading the whole God, dogs! Shut the fuck up, please! Naomi sat not too far away from me, reading through a big pile of books. Thinking back, she must be a speed... I wasn't the only one who heard that, right? Thinking back, she must have been a speed reader, considering she planned to finish a whole lot. Does she enjoy reading books here? I couldn't help but ponder aloud. She could have made some coffee and gotten cozy on her own bed and to read if she just took them home. Granted, it wasn't my place to question her logic while I sat there trying to finish my homework at the beginning of a new term. I'm not sure how long we were in there for. All I remember is that it had grown pitch black outside. Just as I was about to leave and avoid being shouted at for staying past opening hours, I noticed Naomi was still there. She wasn't reading, though. She looked like she was searching for something. She made her way over to the bookshelves, checking the spines one by one. Oh no. I can't recall if she said those exact words or not, but I did hear some sort of panicked noise. Her expression and attitude made it almost all the more apparent. Hey, is something the matter? Sorry, I was just about to leave. It's fine, I'm just a student. Did something happen? You seem troubled. Her reaction forced me to remember my bad reputation. Mao said that rumors about me spread like wildfire, even though over the most minor of things, so the first years may already be wary of me. Golden streaks in my hair, an intimidating expression, and petite. It's hard to admit it. It hurt to admit it, but most people recognize someone with such specific traits. Judging by her demeanor, it's obvious she's too scared to talk. Whatever. You're looking for something, right? Just tell me what it is and I'll help you look. But it won't be long until the teacher kicks us out. If you don't want me to help, fine, but it seems important to you. I have fond memories of how funny her reaction was to that. Her eyes darted all over as she struggled to find a reply. Eventually, she stared straight at me before speaking up. I accidentally put my notebook on a shelf instead of a book. I was reading a book at the same time, so I didn't even notice when I did it. I take it you're the clumsy type, then. Apparently, she received the notebook from her mom as an enrollment gift. Losing it that fast might earn her a record or two. She'd probably get a prize in innovation for the way she did it so, too. That said, I felt bad for her. It didn't seem likely that anyone would stumble across it, considering how many books the library had. Things would only get more difficult as the days passed, and people switched them in and out, too. That's why I decided to help her out. A teacher eventually did come along and chase us off. I stopped searching at that point, instead opting to buy Naomi some time. An hour or so later, she managed to find it. Thank you so much for your help. You went and convinced the teacher for me. I'm not sure what I did counts as convincing, but hey, I'm glad you found it. Better make your way home now. Can we go to the station together? People are going to start rumors about you if they catch you with me. Rumors? Why would they? You should know. Weren't you scared of me earlier? Oh, scared? No. I was just embarrassed over what I'd done. I may be the only person to lose something like that. That's probably true. I felt dumb over worrying about my reputation. She didn't know, and my appearance hadn't intimidated her. It wasn't all that special a moment when I think about it, but somehow I felt like it was. Shishimiya Rinka, pleased to meet you. Hitsuji Naomi, pleased to meet you. I think it took less than a week for her to become more casual around me. Oh, it's worth mentioning that she tripped over herself on the way to the station. There was nothing special about how we met, yet it was a memorable occasion to me regardless. Both of us laugh as we talk about the past. Why did you have that notebook out in the library anyway? I made a point to write down the title of whatever I read in my thoughts. You could say it's a diary of sorts. My thoughts on certain books change depending on when I read them, too. It's taken 2 months, but now my curiosity is sated. It makes sense considering how organized she is. Hey, about my... can I ask you about... We both speak at the same time, interrupting one another. The embarrassment that follows leads to a brief silence. Both speak a second time, but now Naomi smiles.
You go first.
Thanks. I wanted to wait until after the culture festival, but it feels like a good time. I want to apologize for the way that I treated you. Sorry for trying to wedge a wall between us. That was selfish of me.
No, not at all. I know you did it out of concern, so there's no need to apologize.
Her eyes are darting all over again, but I make sure to keep my eyes on her. I need her to understand that she shouldn't hold back. Noticing that, she nods. Nothing's changed since then. I'm still as weak as ever, so if you're fine with it, then... Naomi cuts me off with a hug. She pulls me right in, squeezes me hard enough that I feel each of her fingers caressing my back.
You already know the answer to my question.
Thanks, Naomi.
Sorry for hugging you out of nowhere.
She pushes herself away from me, leaving her hands out in front of her. I grab both with my right hand and then place my left on top. We should focus on tomorrow and Sunday for now.
Right.
We send some more chatting away following that. Once the park is about to close, we leave. It's really strange. This time we spent together in the park was brief, but it made me feel far better than I had in a long time. Dude, something's gonna happen. Naomi's gonna get taken hostage. That's gotta be it.
Good morning.
Morning. Miharu arrives at school as I'm thinking of him for the past week. It's Saturday already! Jesus Christ! I'm surprised. There hasn't been much of a move on Rinka, but there's gotta be one soon, right? We agreed to meet before moving on to help our class with stuff. Just waiting on Mao now. Then the three musketeers will have gathered.
You seem less concerned than earlier this week. Did something happen?
Nah, I just went on a refreshing walk.
I'll take your word for it. As much as I love your troubled expression, I'd much rather see you relaxed today, especially when the fruits of Naomi's labor are in display.
Not every day you concern yourself with her.
You think? I'm more than willing to admit that she's been working hard for this.
Yeah.
There it is, the smile I want to see. I'm glad that even I can make you wear it.
Geez, you really know how to exaggerate. Morning, troops. Sorry, kinda overslept. Mao turns up 5 minutes late. Her face, not to mention the bags in her eyes, makes it obvious she's pretty worn out. Figured I'd be solid, but then I started reading some manga I'd been lying around. Man, I'm beat. Not like you're any different during the week. We did set a meeting time expecting this to happen, though, so let's go. Good job.
I'm not sure my vocabulary can cover just how awful that was. They honestly thought that making the room dark and putting a crystal ball in it would make it authentic. Let's not even mention how they literally just called it fortune teller. I wouldn't blame them for throwing on some black cloaks considering their budget, but there's something that has to be said about how simply print out a customer's fortune and hand it to them.
You're spitting lots of venom today. Come on, it was fun at least. Miharu wasn't wrong though, it was very meh to say the least. The fortune telling itself was done using a PC program bought by one of the girls familiar with the stuff, so that wasn't bad. You just put your date of birth and some other info in and it spits out a result based on horoscopes. It was our job to print and hand out all the results to anyone who wanted them. She probably didn't get permission from the creator to use this, so the idea was a bit of a gray area. Then again, charging 100 yen per go probably tipped the scales. More importantly, how about we actually enjoy the cultural festival?
If by enjoy you mean spend time in the library till noon before going home, then yes. Well, once we're done with Naomi's class, I mean.
Relax, I'm doing the same, though, hey, might as well get a look at what's going on elsewhere before that. I'm beat. We actually ended up walking around the whole school. Mao doesn't even have it in her to skip stuff she has no interest in if she sees that people put effort into it. Not sure if I should praise her for that or not. We're used to her dragging us around since last year, so neither me nor Miharu are bothered. Not that we would admit it to her, of course. Well, we do skip out on stuff like going on at the auditorium and courtyard, so we could argue about it is more of a case of self-gratification. There's still plenty to see and learn from going around and checking out different stuff at least. Speaking of, there's one major thing I noticed while we're doing so. There's plenty of people carrying cups around, aren't there?
Indeed. They have the plastic lids on them too.
Looks like people are to take their cups around campus was the great idea. They must be pretty busy. Hopefully it's all going okay. Curious, are we? Guess it's time to begin our raid on our class then. We passed by once already, so we knew which way to go. The corridors have been gradually filling with people the day drags on. We make our way to the crowd with our own destination in mind. Ooh, they got all the nice and fancy looking. The first year classrooms are up on the 3rd floor, with Naomi being at the end of the corridor. There seem to be a lot of customers too, possibly thanks to the tickets they're selling at the reception area. One door is being used as entrance and the other as an exit. A number of people are making their way out, plastic cups in hand. It feels similar to what you see at a big coffee shop chains. Granted, it's largely meant to be used for more of a rest area. You can see the dripping procedure as well, so I guess that's part of the experience. There's a nice fragrance in the hallway, that's a good sign. It's probably one of the reasons why it's so busy. You normally don't get the chance to enjoy something like this at school. I split the tickets between the 3 of us before making our way in. Where's Naomi? I don't see her anywhere. Let me go ask. She approaches one of the girls to ask. Seems like this is where you pay if you don't have a ticket. 200 yen a cup makes sense considering the budget into account. Looks like she went out with some friends to stock up since they're running out low. She just left, so it'll be a while before she gets back. Guess they got a lot more customers than expected. Oh, thank God. I thought they'd be like, well, she never came in this morning. God, I would, oh man.
She must have this place under tight control. I'm impressed.
Want to come back later? Nah, I might as well stick around here. We can always come back again. Sounds good. My feet have been begging for a seat anyway. Miharu nods in agreement. We hand our tickets over and get some coffee. They're the same chairs we use for class, but they have nice tablecloths and decorations set up on the desks, making it the ideal spot to sit down and escape all activity from the outside. The coffee's nice and fragrant, so they definitely worked hard on it. I can just imagine Naomi doing her best to teach everyone how to brew it. I hope to get the chance to taste her coffee when she gets back.
Naomi's fondness of the Lion House is rather apparent.
It is kind of similar now that you mention it. Feels like a spin-off. Makes sense considering how often she came. I helped her pick out the coasters and things too.
You're truly a big influence on her, aren't you?
Mao asked for some milk and extra sugar. I take a peek into the cup to see the results. Her coffee is almost pure white. She takes a sip before changing the subject. Oh yeah, there was a new transfer student or something among the first years. I noticed that I hadn't seen before. They're small and they have white hair. Couldn't get a proper look, but I caught sight of them this morning.
I'm not too familiar with the other years, so I couldn't tell you.
Same, I'm surprised you noticed, though. Well, it's not it's hard not to notice a kid like that. They stand up as much as you, Rennie. Looked a bit young to be in high school, but their boyish appearance was kind of cute. No doubt they get tons of chocolate on Valentine's Day.
Did they stand out that much?
Yeah, want me to ask when we get the opportunity?
It can't be.
All the dots connect as she describes this person out to us. White hair, young-looking, boyish. There's only one person who fits that description. I'm probably overthinking things, but they had a school uniform on, right? Yeah, that's how I figured they were our first year. Oh, hey, looks like they're back. A few girls make their way through the entrance holding large plastic bags. Naomi is nowhere to be seen, though. Mao heads back to ask again. Apparently, she's talking to someone she knows. What do you know? It's the transferred student we're talking about. I wonder if something happened between them.
No way.
I shout my thoughts for all to hear. I'm not overthinking things. I can't figure out why, but I just know. Sorry, do me a favor and wait elsewhere. Rennie, what's up? I made eye contact with Miharu. Looks like we're on the same page. I rush out of the classroom, leaving Miharu to deal with Mao. He's here. You's come to my school. Yo, the freaking music. I think this is a good place to leave off. So if you liked this episode, make sure you click that thumbs up button down below for me, because you already know your support is greatly appreciated. In the next episode, well, if you want to see it as soon as it comes out, make sure you click that subscribe button so that way you get all the notifications on when my stuff comes out. And we'll see you all next time.